Hi, and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Whitman Gaming bringing you another tank guide. And today, we're looking at the Tier 5 American Heavy tank, the T1 Heavy. But before we start, if you're new to this channel, please do subscribe and hit that bell button. So once I uploaded another video, you will get notified. So, let's begin. The T1 heavy tank is part of the M6 tank series of the American Army during World War II, as they want to develop a tank that can go head-to-head against Germany heavy tank. The development of this tank started around 1941 to 1944, but only 40 units was been built, with 6 variants, including those who never been built. This tank never saw combat as it failed the requirements. The tank was so huge and heavy, in fact, that it has the same weight with the Tiger 1, but the downside is it has weaker armor, it has weaker gun, not to mention the logistics. The tank is quite expensive. So in 1944, the project was totally cancelled, and the American Army focused on developing the Pershing tank. And now we are looking at the tank specs of the T1 Heavy tank. Now, I usually do not play in tier 5. I usually go tier 6, and yeah, I just usually focus on tier 6 to tier 10. So the tank is actually good. For my experience using it, it's actually good. It has a reasonable HP, quite high actually, and I can say it's standard for a heavy tank. The gun is good. You have 10-degree gun depression, which helps you a lot. The only downside with this is the tank. The sea level of the tank is quite huge, so you need to do some adjustment. The DPM of this tank is quite high. You have a 200 damage, more damage than the KB1. So if you manage to go head to head against the KB1, more likely you will win against it. Though your alpha damage is quite weaker than the KB1, you have a faster reload time. Not to mention you have a better penetration. The KB1 only have a 120mm, while you have the 128mm. Velocity of the gun for this tier is really good. And again, most of the tier 5 tank has a, let's say, worse accuracy, so you need to take a time to aim. The tank was so huge, and it's around 59 tons, but it moved so fast. So you can go into position, you can change position. Let's say your speed is almost the same as the Tiger 1. So you can be a support, you can do front line, so you can do a lot about this tank. For this tank, I usually use for vision, you have no choice. You have to use the cola and the standard fuel. For the equipment, again, I'm using the gun rammer, the enhanced gun laying drive, and the vertical stabilizer, so I can get more DPM. And since the aiming time of this tank is quite worse, I need to reduce it. I use the improved assembly for additional HP. The original HP of this tank is just around 680. So with the improved assembly, you will get around 700. And I get the engine accelerator. You need it when you're fighting. Since you are quite huge, you need a better traverse, you need speed, you need everything. So that's it for the tank spec. That's for what you have to know. We're now moving at the armor profile. So here we are now at the armor profile of the T1 Heavy tank. As you can see, the front hull of the tank is flat. So yeah, but it's quite thick. You have 127mm armor, and if you manage to angle it at least let's say 22 degrees, it will increase up to 137mm. Still not that high, if I can say, but if you are facing tier 5 and tier 4 tanks, they cannot penetrate that easily. However, if you face them head to head and they load usually the APCR, they can penetrate this part, the front hull, except this one. The reason for that is it's like a space armor. It has this front armor and then there's another armor behind it. However, if you expose the bottom plate, it can be penetrated without using an APCR. So I suggest to anyone, if you try to side sweep, try to hide the half of your tank. The reason for that is you were decreasing the chance of being penetrated on your front hull. Also, at least try to angle your tank. Actually, if you even try to angle the tank, the bottom hull can still be penetrated. So, try to side scrape, hide the half of your tank. Try to hide this right side of the tank. Or, since you have a 10-degree gun depression, use that to your advantage. Use the terrain to fight your enemy, like this. If you are in this kind of position, your armor effectiveness has increased up to 138 degrees, like that. Maximize the depression of the gun, and you can see you have increased the armor up to 143 millimeter, which is quite hard to be penetrated for tier 5 and tier 4 tank. There's also some tier 6 tanks that cannot penetrate this. So yeah, I suggest use your gun depression. The front hold for me is thick, but it's not reliable, and you will see that through my battles. The side armor of the tank, 76 millimeter. The rear, still thick, cannot be easily HE by tank. The side of the turret, again, cannot be easily HE. However, the upper part of the turret, if somebody is from the hill shoots you on the upper of your turret with an HE, they can do a lot of damage. So that's it for the armor profile. Let's head on to the tactics. And here we are now at the tactics of the tank. So if you are on a tier 5 battles or tier 6, after tier 5 battles, you can go head to head. Again, it's not recommended to go frontline, as I discussed on the armor profile. Your armor is quite flat, can easily be penetrated. Even the medium tanks can penetrate it. Peekaboo, not so actually, yes, it's not recommended due to your poor aiming time. Now, your great advantage is the one-on-one brawl. You have a very good DPM. Like what I said, if you go head-to-head against a KB1, you can easily outgun the KB1. You can also do a 2 versus 1 due to your DPM. So, actually not much with the tactics. You will play this tank very standard, the way a heavy tank was being played. You can still do frontline, but most of the time, try not to go head-to-head with a tank. And I will show you it through the gameplay. So, now, let's proceed to the gameplay. So, here we are now at the first battle with my T1 heavy tank. And now, if you can see, if you remember, the front line is actually not suggested. So instead, going alone to the other side, I decided to head to this part where I can support the medium tanks and the TD. So, but instead, I didn't go rush to the front. Instead, I just tried to observe the map. Let's see where this battle will be going. And now there are tanks now starting to appear in the map. The good thing is most of the tanks actually appear on this side, which is on the left side of the map. So by the way, I am platooning with Catcher on this one, and we're now focusing fire on this Leopard. Again, I say you have good armor, you have a very good DPM. You can land a lot of blow against your enemy. So use your DPM to your advantage. Learn to focus fire. But since I cannot get a fire, instead of just waiting around, I immediately change target and look for anyone that I can be easily taken out. Now again, take a shot, retreat. Take a shot, retreat. Your armor is not reliable, so please do hide. You have a chance. And now, I'm using my DPM to get advantage. Trying to get a shot, but not so lucky. Get shot from behind by this tank. Now I'm going to face him, so he cannot penetrate me. I know I can win easily against this medium tank. So instead of just holding back, I decided to engage him and try to eliminate him using my DPM to outgun my enemy. now I have eliminated. Again, you have a good armor. It's not that reliable, but there are times that you're going to bounce or block some shots. So I'm trying to take out the enemy with the least HP. Now, that's my tips to anyone. If you spotted a tank that has a lower HP, try to immediately eliminate the tank. A tank with 1 HP, a dead tank is actually better than a tank with 1 HP. So always kill the tank with the lesser HP. Now with my face hug, he cannot penetrate my tank. And this match over, and I managed to land a very good damage, 1900 damage. It's actually high for a tier 5 tank. And here we are now to the second battle. Again, same map, but this time we are on the other side of the map. So again, I'm observing, and looks like my team is heading toward that area. So instead again going alone, I decided to support my teammate. So now, notice this video. I will show you what I mean that when you're side scraping, try to hide the other side of your tank, which is the right side, just to make sure you will lessen the weak spot that has been exposed. So like this, I'm hiding the right side of the tank while peeking and hoping to drop a shot. We drop now a very nice shot to this light tank, which I suppose that I'm supposed to switch HE, which is my mistake. So trying to find a good position. Now I notice that most of the tank is actually charging towards the right side of the map. So I immediately use this structure in front of me and try to hide the right side of my tank. Now I'm falling back. Cannot rely on my armor, so I need to get a very good position and to land as many shots as I can. Like that, I can easily be penetrated by a tier 5 medium tank. So I'm trying to hide my tank. Now, like what I said, you have a very good mobility. So use that mobility to change position. Now, if you notice that this street tank is actually dominating this side, so instead of just waiting around, I decided to go to the other side of the map and eliminate this this light tank. And actually there's another tank destroyer on that side, so I decided to immediately eliminate this light tank. Since those three tanks is dominating the other side, I'm trying to even the odds here. So I just decided to charge again these two tanks and hoping to kill them using my DPM to outgun both of them. Now using my, again, look at my speed, I can get in position right in time. Suddenly I missed the shot. So I'm now focusing fire on this TD, using again my speed and my DPM to harass this little panzer. And I managed to drop that killing blow, so now it's 2 versus 3. Managed to even the odds. That's what I said, that use your mobility to change position, find a good spot where you can land more damage. Now I cannot penetrate this tank. I'm trying to see if my... Good thing is my teammate managed to eliminate those tanks. So trying to get a shot on this KB, which has a quite thick armor. And I don't know what with this teammate. Now, even though this is what I suggest. Don't be like that teammate, just chatting and saying that you are noob. Even though the enemy is alone, try to keep it cool. Don't be don't do something stupid. It's a KB1. There's a chance that this tank might turn things around. So I'm playing it safe, and I didn't just go head to head and charge to the KB1. I'm making my plan and step to kill this. However, I missed the shot, but it's okay. We've won that match. A very good match, actually. Very nice damage. So that's it for the T1 Heavy. I guess you learned something from it. And good luck to the battlefield, Commander.